conference of educators. How can we educate people for a society of happiness rather than economic growth? And some pretty, I think many of the leading holistic educators did go to that conference. I didn't, but...
In Denmark and in New Zealand, parents can get together and start small schools and have the government cover a lot of the cost of it.
Yeah.
There are other countries like that too.
Yeah, so there are some places that are rays of hope.
Reggio
Yeah.
would be considered a place too. Reggio.
Reggio. Yeah, the city of Reggio, yeah. Yes.
Yes, and I think, for education to be holistic, I mean, it has to be grassroots, because if it starts growing up, right, then you start building a system. When you start building a system, then you need strong people to run it, and strong people come with strong ideas, right, which will start changing, what holistic education is. So in a way, it has got to be small, it's got to be grassroots. I mean, you can't transform, you can't put like a standard across the entire system, because once that happens, you kind of lose the essence of it. Right?
Yeah, yeah. So being grassroots is part of the nature of what we're trying to do.
You got some of that.
Yes, someone.
Well, mentioning Reggio Emilia, I was just wondering how far through the school system does this philosophy extend? Is it just for the preschools, or does it extend into the grade schools?
When we started the Bellwether School in Vermont, we took the Reggio ideals and applied them all the way through. I think we have equivalent of 4th or 5th graders. We don't have kids divided by grades, but we have kids that age. So we use the same principles through most of elementary school.
And is that what they do in Reggio Emilia?
Oh, in the city of Reggio? I don't think so. Who knows? It's really preschools.
Yeah, younger students, it doesn't go all the way into high school. They have a more established, like European, almost like a caste system for education too.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought the city itself kind of had the holistic.
Well, the city supports the preschools. They have a very holistic vision for their young children, but then I think they buy into the culture that says, all right, you're 6 years old, it's time to get serious now.
Oh, I see. I thought it went beyond.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know what age it stops, but it doesn't extend through like a secondary level.
Oh, I see.
No.
In May at Voyager, there's going to be an expert on Reggio who's going to be the main speaker.
That's right. Yeah, that would be worth going to. Who was next? Go ahead.
I have so many thoughts in my head, but I don't really have a question, but I don't feel, I'm an educator myself in public school, and I feel a lot of teachers that are fed up with the system, but I don't feel an optimism that things will change. I feel very oppressed, and less so probably than, I'm a librarian, so I'm not quite as constrained by test scores yet. They haven't, put that on me really yet.
Yeah.
Because, but the teachers find more and more demands. And even though I hear from friends of mine that are parents in the system that they, they don't like a lot of things, and everybody still looks at test scores, and that's still and that's an issue with real estate values, how good are the test scores. And so even when schools, like our school, we do count on federal money, so it's important even more so, but even schools like probably districts around here where they don't count on federal money, they count on the fact that everyone wants high test scores, and how many kids, I forget the word they use, that test above, and I don't know, I don't have an optimistic feeling about how things will change or what will happen. And I have searched to, I have a daughter that will be entering the school system, and there's so few choices of things that are close, to put her, I don't even want to put her into my own school system because I hate what's happening to public school. I hate it.
It does, it looks,
I think there's always been some, direction from the top. That's just the way it's probably always going to be, but it's become more and more so. And now they're giving us less money to do the things
Yeah.
that they want us to do.
yeah. It is looking
So-
pretty bleak now. There's
And
no,
so, I don't know
there's
what
no-
my question is,
but I think Jerry has a point that at a certain point, it's just going to be so bad that people will rebel. It just,
maybe the teachers will remember.
maybe, yeah, hopefully. Maybe the students will.
Yeah, how can you take the joy out of teaching and then have children have any joy in learning if you take it away from them?
Yeah,
It seems
I think
sad.
so. Even like some of my I honestly think I hate to say this, but I think a lot of our teachers work really hard, but I don't think that many of them are great teachers. But even some of my friends who I really feel are really great with the kids, and they're losing heart and don't want to do it anymore. And that is just, we have this joke at lunchtime that we're gonna start our own school like this because anyway.
Maybe it shouldn't be a joke.
Funny.
Yeah.
Go do it. Do it.
Oh, boy.
You heard it here first. Yes.
I have a statement and then a serious question, and that is that I have a daughter that's actually teaching up in your area, up in the Burlington area, and has very negative experiences as a teacher.
Hopefully it's not at the school I started.
No,
In a public s-
Burlington High School, South Burlington.
Burlington High School, South Burlington.
South
That's
Burlington.
brought home, I think, so I've been indoctrinated. And of course, I have a daughter that is involved with the Wellspring process and others. When I embrace holism, I have a great respect for it. I'm beginning to feel it as a grandfather. And so this is a wonderful experience. I've also been an educator, but at a level that's beyond holism, because it's more on the level of science, teaching other things that are refining rather than developing. But I have a problem. You use the word holism. I'd like to use the word metric, because that's been bandied around a lot today. We need a metric for something. There is a metric for something. And my concern is in the holistic approach and its inculcation of what we think should be developed in these younger children. How do you determine the metric of what you're doing so that these people will inject themselves, embrace themselves, involve themselves in the future? And it may not be in the humanitarian side, it may not be in the literary way, but it's more as an individual. They could be a scientist, they could be whatever you want to take.
Right.
Mathematician is
Right.
the one that I think has the most easier direction. Where is the metric in this whole process? When does it stop? How do you move forward in what we're talking about in here?
By metric, you mean some way of knowing,
Metric.
okay, what is successful? How do you know someone is
Where do you
learning?
want to take us? We're in the pews, so it's easy to talk to us because we're on your side.
Ron, can I respond to that?
Yeah, go ahead. Go.
Well, my background is scientific, and I've done chemical and cancer research and so on, and so I'm not afraid of measurement and not afraid of science and know how to use it as a tool. And I think that a lot of the people have been so put off by this whole approach of the standards of the teaching to the test and so on, that they kind of reject the whole idea that it's possible to measure some of the things that we have different standards. We do have standards. And some of those things can be measured, just like the gross national happiness that he was talking about, And I think that it probably would be a great idea to set up some kind of a think tank to work on ways to measure some of the things that that are our standards. We know what it can't just be, well, we know what we're seeing. We know Wellspring's good because we've been in and it's nice and kids are happy. And the same thing with Brooklyn Free School or Manhattan or whatever. I think that we need to actually work on developing measurements for things like responsibility, creativity, the ability to find resources, things that we know are important, human relations, the way people relate to each other, conflict resolution. There are, I think, ways of measuring these things So I think that that's a good thing to do. I wouldn't want to take it too far, because responding a little bit to the librarian